Ladies, gentlemen, and genetic anomalies, what is happening? I hope you guys are all doing well. I am not a newbie, and we are back again today with yet another stream. My apologies for not hopping on and doing a stream sooner. My life has just gotten pretty busy, so I have not been able to stream as frequently as I would like. Oh my. Got a little bit of the the foam over there from my soft drink. Kind of went goosh all over the side. I was not expecting that to happen, but it's all right. It's all right. Anyways, we have a fair bit of topics to get to. I'm not sure if we'll be able to hit everything. I've got show prep for just today, and there's still a bunch of old topics that I do want to talk about. I did want to talk about Ludwig being right about the commentary community being a little toxic, but I don't think I'll have time to cover that. There were two main things I really wanted to cover. I think I'll be able to hit them today. One is talking about Kamala Harris's disastrous or potentially disastrous price gouging policy. She's also got some other dangerous economic policies, but I will probably reserve those for another day. Also, there's the whole situation with what's going on at the DNC. There are some anti-Israel slash like pro-Hamas protesters who are very angry with Kamala Harris at the moment. So we'll be talking about how that might shape the DNC. And there are other topics we might get to at the time, but I'm not going to list them because I frankly am dubious as to whether or not I'll be able to get to all those things. And I don't want to give you guys any false promises or anything. But if I'm able to stream for long enough, then we'll get to those other topics. All right. But yes, to all the people who have requested things in my Discord server, I will be hitting those eventually. Like the UK stuff isn't even on the table for me right now because I'm just not gonna have the time. I'm not gonna have the time to get to that today. I'm quite sure. Also, I want to further scrutinize the research that I do for that story in particular because I am not British. In case you can tell, I am not British. So I want to make sure I sort of vet the info that I get. Make sure I'm getting it from accurate places because I, being American, am not aware of what the most reputable sources of information are when it comes to the Brits in their current event. So that's one reason why I'm not going to be talking about that today. But in any case, these are going to be two very, very interesting stories to talk about. I'm very, very excited to dive into these subjects. Hold on, let me look this up right here. Okay. So, by the time this video goes up, I'm pretty sure that the DNC will already be underway. The Democratic National Convention. This is the ceremony where Kamala Harris will very likely be officially crowned the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. And apparently things might not go as smoothly as one might expect because it seems like the Democratic Party in general has sort of rallied around Kamala Harris. However, there is a small contingency of Democrats who are either like pro-Hamas or very, very strongly anti-Israel, who they are really, really upset with Kamala Harris because she is not a big supporter of Hamas. She's not a big supporter of Palestine. She will probably be in lockstep with standard American foreign policy when it comes to supporting Israel in their battle against their various enemies in the Middle East. And, you know, these people can be disgruntled with a presidential candidate for whatever reason. But things did start to spill over into disorder at a rally in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Now compare what Donald Trump plans to do.
Oh, actually, hold on, wait, this is the wrong clip. I'm sorry. This is a completely wrong clip. Okay. But things did seem to sort of spiral into disorder when there was some heckling that threw Kamala Harris off script at this moment in a rally in Michigan.
It is a plan. It is a plan to weaken America's middle class. Project 2025, if he is elected.
So for context, for those of you who are not aware or a little bit confused when watching this video, there's like a small contingent of burqa wearing Hamas supporters or anti-Israel protesters, I suppose, standing in the crowd, sort of like chanting and I think calling Kamala Harris like pro-genocide or whatever in the middle of the crowd, and the rest of the crowd is chanting Kamala, Kamala to drown those people out. Meanwhile, we've got a Kamala Harris staffer over here trying to usher these protesters away.
I'm here because we believe in democracy. Everyone's voice matters, but I am speaking now.
By the way, I did think this was funny when I was doing research to find this clip in like the full context, right? I didn't want these clips, just living, at the outside of their coconut trees. I wanted to get through the context from which they all, live and exist and all that stuff. So when I was looking for this segment here, she actually said the same thing to Mike Pence when when he interrupted her during a vice presidential debate. She said, I'm speaking now. So I found that interesting. This is something that's definitely in her vocabulary.
So Project 2025. Look, if he is elected, Donald Trump intends to give tax breaks to billionaires and big corporations. He intends to cut Social Security and Medicare. He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
Now. The response to this was overwhelmingly negative, I think, from both sides of the aisle. I think pretty much everyone hated this moment. But I'm like one of the few people who actually liked this because she's honestly right. And this is, I think I've always been, I don't know if I've said this on stream, but I've always said this for the haters of Israel and Jews and all, and all those people. There's not really anyone for you guys to vote for because Kamala Harris is not going to say, you know what, Israel, let's pull all your funding and force you to shut down all your weapons so that the Islamic terrorists can run through and destroy your nation. She is not going to be the president to do that for you. I'm sorry, anti-Semites. It's just not going to happen. There's really no political or presidential candidate who's going to do that for you. Kamala Harris isn't going to do that. Donald Trump is not going to do that. RFK Jr. is not going to do that. So for the anti-Semites, there is no one to vote for in this presidential election. You can't be a single issue voter on the issue of Israel versus Palestine and support Palestine and have a major candidate to vote for. It just is not happening. So Kamala Harris makes a good point. If you're left leaning, which most anti-Semites are, when it comes, especially when it comes to like being against Israel, like anti-Zionists, most anti-Semites are on the left side of the spectrum. And for all those people who are on the left side of the spectrum, there is no one for you. But if you sit on the sidelines and boycott Kamala Harris, then guess what? Donald Trump is going to win. And by the way, if you guys do that, I'm not going to complain because I'm voting for Donald Trump. I hope that Donald Trump wins. But I'm just saying, from a strategic perspective, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a very, very small, whiny, hateful group of Democrats to be like, no, you don't hate Jews enough, so I'm not going to vote for you. Like, come on, dude. If you get your way, you sway enough people, you're going to convince other Democrats to let Donald Trump win. Is that your goal? Is that your goal for real? anyways, the crowd actually seemed to love, the crowd there seemed to love this, even though the response online seemed overwhelmingly negative. And so I think the staffer there is slowly being able to usher the protesters out of the arena. And then a chant is started in the crowd there, saying, "We're not going back." Now, let's see here. Now, this is just like a small group of protesters. It seemed to me like maybe like 7 like college students or something, sort of there, in their little group being like, "Oh, genocide, Kamala," or whatever it was that their chant was. But they're not the only ones who are upset, even though I would say that this sort of like anti-Semitic sect of the Democratic Party is a little bit, certainly underrepresented in the grand scheme of things. It certainly does not represent the majority of Democrats, because this story came out here, the Democratic National Convention, which is happening in Chicago, by the way. They are having lots more security than usual due to all of these protesters. Actually, it looks like NBC News ran a segment on this. It's 2 minutes long. Let's peep this.
Already up.
Oh, no.
Tonight, Chicago's guard is already up. Fencing lining the streets, roads closed off to vehicles. A large protective zone built around the United Center, where Vice President Harris is set to accept the Democratic nomination for president.
And just like at the Republican convention in Milwaukee, Secret Service responsible for everything inside that hardened perimeter. Local police taking the lead for nearly everything else. Is the Chicago Police Department ready for the DNC?
Yeah, I've said it for a while. The Chicago Police Department is ready.
I mean, I don't know what the Chicago Department. I don't know what the Chicago Police Department has been ready for. I mean, just look at their violent crime rates. That place is a nightmare. I have a close friend who went and he went and had his honeymoon in Chicago, and I was like, "What? You went where?" It's fine. He's a masculine man. He was able to protect his woman. But anyways, let's continue.
Chicago's top cop says there are no specific incredible threats, but to expect a heavy police presence throughout the city.
It's a huge project, but the Chicago Police Department and the city as a whole is used to working towards something this large.
Looming over the convention is the promise of large-scale protests just blocks from the United Center.
This is one of the streets we'll be on, yes.
Despite months of legal battles over the protest area, the largest demonstration is expected to draw more than 20,000 people. Hatem Aboudeya is one of the lead organizers preparing to voice his opposition to Israel's war in Gaza.
What's the main message for you guys?
Yeah, the main message is that the Democrats who are going to be in that building are complicit in this war against the Palestinian people.
Police Superintendent Larry Snelling says his officers received special training focused on de-escalation and respecting constitutional rights, but warns violent scenes reminiscent of Chicago's 1968 Democratic Convention will not be tolerated.
Do we want to have fights in the streets with people? Absolutely not. But I want to make one thing clear. I want to make this perfectly clear. We need to know the difference between rioting and protesting.
A city that says it's prepared for any situation.
That's a base take.
Shaquille Brewster, NBC News, Chicago.
Now, I mean, I hope that Chicago handles this correctly, but I can't remember the last time I saw Chicago handle anything correctly. The previous mayor was trash. Mini Wheat in my Discord server was like, "Oh, we got a new mayor. Everything's gonna be fine." Nothing changed. Everything is still terrible in Chicago. I mean, maybe not everything, but there's still like tons of violence. Nothing seems to have been fixed. So, I mean, I guess because you've got the Secret Service there, things might be a little bit different. But if there are a lot of violent anti-Semites, good luck. I don't want any violence. Let's make that clear. But if you're worried about violence, I think the first place that you would maybe scratch off your list to have your event held at is probably Chicago. You know, you might not want to have your event in Chicago if you're worried about violence, right? Yeah, it says here, this is the headline. Will protesters or police be the problem at the Democratic National Convention? I mean, bro, if you're going over there and being violent and then the police goes and breaks up your fights, you are the problem, not the police. Okay, like maybe, hey, if you don't fight the police, maybe the police won't attack you. Okay, you know, let's apply the January 6th rules here. Okay. Groups range from climate activists to a pro-Palestinian organization banned in Israel and Germany. Arab Americans say law enforcement in Chicago has targeted them for years. When the 20,000 protesters are expected to cram into a 1.4-mile-long court-approved protest route near Democratic National Convention in Chicago next week, creating a potential standoff between demonstrators and a police department with a history of excessive force. A police department with a history of excessive force? I mean, sure, shooting Nerf guns, I suppose, at criminals. No, I don't know that Chicago is known for an excessive police force. They've been known for letting people get shot in drive-by shootings, hundreds of people dying over the course of a weekend. But excessive force, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on, let me see here. I'm gonna look this up on the side. I've got this clip that keeps on playing randomly. I'm gonna look this up here on the side. So we're gonna look up Chicago. Let's see, Chicago shootings this weekend, and I'm sure they're gonna be like a bunch of articles. Here, let me pull this up here.
National Convention in Milwaukee last month.
Today is about the alternative.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, the police, they definitely have things under control. This is 2 p.m. today. Okay. This is like less than, just over 4 hours. Just over 4 hours ago, 2 teens shot, one fatally, while sitting on a West Englewood porch. Okay, teens sitting on a porch getting shot. No one is in custody. Ridiculous. Here, man shot after crash in Tri-Taylor, Chicago said. No one is in custody. How come there's no one in custody for all of these things? Okay, hold on. Let me see here. Suspect killed, 2 others injured in an officer-involved shooting in Pilsen, Copa investigating. We got more. 10 p.m. Eastern time. At least 10 shot, 3 fatally in weekend gun violence across Chicago. Man shot to death in Southwest Side. No one is in custody. Wow, shocker. Man killed, 2 injured in Lonsdale shooting. No one is in custody. I think that's the same day, by the way. Man killed in Bronzeville shooting, CPD says. Let's see. No one is in custody. Wow, surprising. Let's see. Other source. Teen shot, killed in ambush in East Garfield Park. No one is in custody. They are not getting anyone in custody. Again, another one. Man shot to death in South Austin. No one is in custody. They are not arresting any of these criminals who are shooting up innocent civilians, who are doing nothing but sitting in their porches or walking down the streets. You've got teens getting ambushed, and no one is being arrested for these crimes. Not a single person. I think we've looked up all of these stories. The most recent, 8 shootings, which have occurred over the past 4 days. No one was arrested. In one instance, the suspect was killed because he was shooting at police, and they're not stormtroopers, but still. Absolutely ridiculous. I hate seeing stories like this. And yes, things like this are going to get me amped up because the police's job is to keep civilians safe. keep civilians safe. As someone who believes in the separation of church and state, and I don't think that the state should be legislating morality incredibly harshly. And of course, we're going to have some nerds in the chat or whatever saying, "Oh, but all laws are morality." Like, yes, you know what I mean. I think that the police's primary job is to keep people reasonably safe while maintaining while allowing them to maintain their freedom and instill justice. They are failing in all counts here. And so now we're going to be saying, oh, well, the Chicago police is known for, for excessive force. No. You want to know what Chicago is famous for? No one is in custody. That's what they're known for. Letting their shooters and murderers run around free and, feel free to, like Chicago's motto should be like, feel free to ambush our teens. We won't arrest you. Like, that should be the motto. Ridiculous. It's terrible. And, I'm sure there are going to be people from Chicago watching this video who are going to be mad that I'm targeting your city or whatever. But you know what? I wouldn't be hating on Chicago if Chicago was better. I wouldn't be hating on the Chicago PD if the Chicago PD actually arrested the people who are murdering their civilians, who, by the way, are basically not doing anything. Except maybe getting into a car crash or maybe sitting on a porch. But that's not something that means that you should be arrested, that you should be murdered and killed in cold blood. Ridiculous. These people should be allowed to live in peace. Sorry. Sorry. If you're going to come out here and say, oh, this police department has a history of excessive force, maybe the civilians do too. Because it says here, the 264 protest groups, really, it surprises me. I didn't even know there'd be 264 protesters there. Okay. The 264 protest groups that have said they will participate are primarily focused on Palestinian rights, ending the war in Gaza, and reducing U.S. aid to Israel. Others represent a patchwork of left-leaning causes, climate activists, socialists, anti-racist organizations, queer and trans rights groups. Arab American groups in the Chicago area, home to the country's largest Palestinian American community, said local police and federal agents have targeted their community for years, racially profiling residents, raiding homes, and surveilling them. I can't speak to that. I have no idea if that's true or not. The tactics have resulted in few convictions. I mean, the activities of the entire Chicago Police Department have resulted in few convictions. Do we want to go there? But yeah, let's see here. Chicago Police Superintendent Larry Snelling told NBC News that the police will be peaceful so long as protesters are peaceful. And that's exactly how it should be done, okay? It sounds like Larry Snelling, based on what he said in that interview, is going to be doing the right thing here. I just don't like framing the police as this militarized force when they can't even arrest a single shooter who killed people over the past 4 days. And we're talking about like 8, 9, 10 shootings, okay? It says here, if people come here to protest peacefully, exercise their First Amendment rights, our officers are going to not only allow them to do it, but protect them while they're doing it. Snelling said in an interview, where our officers are we're not going to allow someone to come to our city and destroy it. So acts of violence, acts of vandalism will not be tolerated in our city. Absolutely based. This is the type of rhetoric that we need in police departments. I just hope that the actions follow what's being said here. It says here, law enforcement experts say a handful of the pro-Palestinian groups in the coalition currently are or have been under investigation by either state, federal, or international authorities for suspected ties to terror organizations and could fuel tensions. I completely believe this. I mean, there were some reports and evidence in some edge cases that these people, some of these groups actually are funded by foreign states. So, that's fair. Oh yeah, here we go. Contentious planning. Since March, Chicago protest leaders and city officials have engaged in a legal battle over how much space demonstrators will have to meet and protest. The city of Chicago only approved 1.4 miles, nearly a mile short of what the route organizers asked for. Hatem Abu Daye, a spokesperson from the coalition to march on the DNC, said organizers are concerned that large numbers of demonstrators expected won't be able to fit into such a condensed space. We know it's going to be tens of thousands. Tens of thousands? Bro. I'm pressing X to doubt. Because I don't think that there are going to be tens of thousands of people there. I would be shocked if that was the case. It says if we know it's going to be too big for the mile route, it says no one wants mass arrest. I will say, if you're going to have like even like 200, 300, 400 people at a protest, I don't know if 1.4 miles is going to be enough. I will say if they need a bigger space, you could extend that space from in the opposite direction. Maybe not make it be so close to the DNC, because what you don't want is, and I'm sure what the police is thinking about here, is you don't want a big group of people right next to the DNC. They get rowdy and all of a sudden they're in the DNC. I think what they want is sort of like a buffer zone, so that if they get rowdy, you've got some wiggle room. You can throw in some extra cops over there or whatever, and it's not like they can immediately break one line of cops and then go straight into the convention and really mess things up. So I mean, I understand why you would have that buffer zone, right? A mile short of what the route organizers asked for, but I think if there really are going to be tens of thousands of people, which again I doubt, you do want to give them more breathing room than that. The Chicago Police Department, which is leading security, posted a webpage detailing how it wants to avoid making arrests. I mean, we know that they want to avoid making arrests. You can't be running around arresting black people. That's a big no-no. Let's see. Police have said that they will give protesters a chance to comply with officers' orders, but they also plan to isolate the bad actors. Good. Police have said obstructing traffic, for example, is not protected under the First Amendment, and said that activities can lead to arrests, include assault, throwing objects, and destroying property. Good. Finally, common sense has entered the chat. No, you can't stand in the middle of the street and block the road and obstruct traffic. Finally, we're having a police department that's going to ostensibly take action against this type of behavior. I've been hoping for this. So this whole article is on the NBC News website. You can read all about it. I just figured it'd be good to cover. I really do hope that the Chicago Police Department stands by their word here, because if they do, I think it'll be instrumental in keeping things peaceful. I don't want to see anyone being attacked at the Democratic National Convention. I don't want to see Kamala Harris get attacked or harmed in any way. I just want her to lose the election. So hopefully this is the one thing that the Chicago PD handles correctly. Do I have faith that they will handle this completely correctly? No. But I do think, because of all the external pressure, the involvement of the Secret Service, take that as you will, that they're at least not going to bungle this as badly as they bungled their violent shooting epidemic. So, all right. Here, let me check this here. I did want to react to this. Hold on. How long is this segment? Let's see. Not too long. Okay. I think we can react to this. Okay. So, actually, you know what? No, I actually don't have the time. I'm so frustrated because I wanted to react to this, but I don't have the time to do so. I wanted to talk about the whole price gouging thing because it was a really interesting story. I was able to grab the interview from CNN. So Donald Trump had posted a clip from a CNN interview. I literally almost religiously DVR nearly all of the major mainstream media cable news shows. And so I was able to find it specifically for things like this, so that people post clips on social media, I can go back and watch the full interview in context. I was able to find the context in which this clip lived. It was still inside of its coconut tree. I need to stop using that. I need to stop saying that. But I was able to find it. So the very next stream I do, I will talk about this because people are calling her socialist or communist or whatever. And And I understand the sympathy. I mean, I understand the rhetoric, but it's not exactly socialism. But it's getting there, and that's the real problem. But anyways, thanks to anyone who tuned in. I know it's been a very, very short stream. I wish I had more time to stream, but I got things to do and a movie to see. I'm going to watch Alien, Romulus. It should be very fun. I think it's going to be lit. So, yeah. If you want to know what I think about Alien Romulus, either follow me on Letterboxd, I guess, that's not a newbie, or, I don't know, join my Discord. I'm sure I'll be talking about it on Discord. I'm not sure when I will do my next stream, but I will be doing another stream. So stay tuned for that, my friends. And if you want more details about when I'm doing my next streams or releasing new content or whatever, or just like behind the scenes things, like, I don't know, if I ask for input on what topics to cover in future streams, click the link right here. It's actually not clickable. Wow, you have to go into your browser and type it in yourself. So difficult to just go into your browser and enter dscrd.ntwb.cc. So hard, so challenging. Well, hey, at least I put it in the description of the live stream, so you're not entirely on your own in that front. But yeah, join the Discord. You'll get a bunch of details on when I'll be live. I might rope you into plans for other streams. Hey, I might even actually have you on the stream because I have provisions in the Discord server to have on, you know, members of the server as guests. So yeah, join the bread gang. It ain't that hard. It's free. Also, if you want more regular content from me and you don't have time to watch like a full like 2 or 3 hour long VOD and you still want to keep up with my content, just subscribe to the Non-Newbie Highlights channel on YouTube. I upload a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon, and I talk about a variety of things. It basically reflects my streams. So sometimes I'm reacting to memes, sometimes I'm reacting to politics, sometimes I'm talking to somebody about, I don't know, random life stuff. Sometimes I'm reviewing movies, very rarely, but sometimes I'm reviewing movies. So, I mean, you might be pleasantly surprised by all the things I talk about on that channel. Go check it out. It's Non-Newbie Highlights on YouTube. But anyways, that's pretty much it. That will serve as the entire stream. It's basically one segment. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry, but I have to go. So I'll let you guys know in the Discord when I will be doing my next stream. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I really, really appreciate you guys stopping by, even if it was just for 30 seconds. Peace out, y'all.